Hey, and welcome back to another video. It is your Lifestylist K, your secure woman mentor. And today I want to talk about harnessing your feminine energy while in a relationship. Because have you ever lost yourself in a relationship, overgiving, overcaring, overthinking, trying too hard to be chosen? And if you have, that's because you were operating from a place of fear and not your feminine energy. Let's dive in.
Day in, day out, pleading strangers for help. Don't dwell upon this thought right now.
The power of feminine energy in relationships creates attraction by allowing yourself to be open, receptive, and emotionally connected. And as simple as that might sound, a lot of women lose that when they get into relationships. And the reason is why. Because once again, we're operating from a place of fear. We want to be chosen. And prior toxic relationships have taught you to overdo, to chase, to overgive, to overcompensate, to look for approval instead of really tapping into who you are so that someone can love you for just who you are, not because of what you're able to overly give to them, because then that turns into them using you. It's only one sided. You're the one that's given and they're just taken. There's no reciprocity. Feminine energy requires reciprocity. When you're in a space of over functioning in a relationship, you associate control and effort with being worthy. And with that, with your thought process of thinking, if I do, the fear is that if you stop and relax and receive, you feel like love won't come to you. And that's truly the opposite. Your innate way of being and your overdoing and your overfunctioning is keeping love from coming to you because you're not on the receiving end. Life is about giving and receiving, but if you're always given, you don't allow yourself to receive what's due to you. One thing to understand is that your feminine energy, your feminine power isn't in chasing. It isn't in the doing. It's in the allowing of someone to come to you, to come closer to you. It's about the attraction of someone being pulled towards you. And so now you have to unlearn the overfunction, and understand how to create deep relationships without losing yourself, without falling into the trap of overdoing. And if you have been in this place of overdoing, what you probably find yourself in is you find yourself in decent relationships at the beginning, and then they slowly become toxic because you're not allowing yourself to receive what you need to receive, because you are in the overfunction of the relationship. You're allowing that toxicity to come into the relationship because you're functioning from a place of fear. Never be fearful. What's yours is yours. And if it leaves, baby, that's just what it is. They were not ready to receive what you had to give, and they probably didn't have enough to give to you. So now we have to shift from chasing to receiving. That's the shift that needs to happen in order for you to truly walk in your feminine power within relationships. So, examples of chasing energy would be convincing someone of your worthiness, right? Trying to prove that you are worthy of whatever love they have to give. Over explaining yourself instead of just letting your nose be nose or allowing what you say just to be what you said. Forcing connection is another thing. You remove yourself out of the flow of connection and into the forcing of connection because of your fear. I don't know if it's just a fear of being alone, but one of the best things that you could be is by yourself. So never be fearful of not having a relationship with someone else. That is the time for you to truly connect with yourself in a more intimate way, on a more personal level, getting to know you on all levels. Now, the receiving energy looks a little bit different than the chasing energy. So, as you remove yourself from this chasing realm and into the receiving realm of relationship, that looks more like allowing someone to show their effort. As I stated before, being in your flow, not in a force, and staying open but unattached to the outcome. And what that means is sometimes we could want something so bad that we're more attached to the outcome. Release the outcome. Ultimately, your outcome should be to find a healthy relationship. So remove yourself from the attachment of the outcome and just be open with the flow of the process. Trust the process. And one thing to understand is that if someone wants to be with you, if someone wants to be in your life, they will move towards you. Stay in your power and trust the process. Always be emotionally open, but not overly available. It's okay that if you're not doing anything and someone asks you at the last minute to do something, it's okay for you to say, no, I'm busy. Maybe we can plan something a little bit further out. It allows you to reserve your time and reclaim your time. It allows people to see that, oh, okay, her time is filled with something. I have to make sure that I'm planning accordingly. And the reason you don't want to be openly available is because attraction builds when there is space and room for desire to grow. And another thing, when you are not operating in your feminine power, you overshare too soon. You're oversharing too you're oversharing too soon, or you're even being emotionally all in immediately. And when you do that, you're basically placing all of your cards on the table. You're not allowing yourself to be intriguing enough. When people know exactly what happened in your past relationship, when they know all about the things that you've gone through and what you want and what you desire, when that is immediate, it's too much. And you leave room for people to take advantage of you or for people to become exactly what you don't want. And so instead of oversharing, share just enough just for them to be intrigued. Never tell a person what you went through in a past relationship. Only share the way that you desire to be treated in relationships moving forward. Because it never fails. When you've come from a toxic relationship and you enter into a new talking phase of a relationship, of a possible relationship, if you tell them exactly how toxic this person was and how they treated you, they're going to do the same thing unconsciously, but it will happen. This is when you speak life into relationships moving forward. And never rush. Being emotionally all in immediately, you're rushing. You're not getting to know a person. You're not spending enough time with a person to truly know who they are and what they are about and what they're not about. Allow room for the relationship to grow naturally, to mature into something great, to blossom into something great, or to fizzle out. You have to allow that space. Don't think that everyone you talk to is going to turn into a full blown relationship. It might not. But the way to walk in your feminine power is to allow yourself to at least allow that to flow and see where it goes and be open because it can go left or it can go right. And one thing to understand is that giving all of yourself too soon does not deepen a bond with someone. All it does is rushes it. And when you rush into something, you leave room for toxic energies to rush in and overtake and nestle in real nice and quickly. You allow the love bombing to set in. You allow so much of that toxic energy to flourish really quickly. So take your time. And anytime that you have found yourself in a relationship or growing into a relationship, always make sure to keep your life and your passion strong. Understand that high value people are attracted to women who have a full and radiant life. Make sure that you have things going on that occupies your time. Continue to nourish your interests, your goals, your friendships. Don't ignore those things in order to give all of your attention to this possible relationship. You leave room for yourself to be hurt, for yourself to be lost in their life. One thing to understand, healthy relationships work best when two people, two whole people come together and they share in their life, not when one person is making another person their entire world. A whole life and a whole life, and then you come and you figure out how your life can come together like a puzzle piece and work. Relationships should always be a safe space for your feminine energy and your emotional well-being. And the way to nourish that and to flourish in that, in your feminine energy and your emotional security safely within a relationship, is keep communication open. Communicate softly but with strength, meaning that if you're saying something, you don't have to be crass or nasty. It's just, hey, this is how I feel. This is what it is for me. Let's discuss it. You have to have that communication up to par. Because one thing for sure is people can't read your mind, and you can't expect for someone to read yours. And if communication is something that a person can't do or they don't do well, and they're struggling with it to the point to where when you do communicate, they're shutting down and you've given them room to fix it, that's probably not the best relationship for you, especially when you want a relationship that is built on healthy communication. Now, just to give you a few examples of what healthy communication might be, let me give you a few examples. So instead of, you never make time for me, try this. I feel most connected with you when we spend quality time together. And the reason this works, just shifting the way that you communicate, is it doesn't create resistance. It keeps the love alive, right? It keeps the like alive. Because what you don't want to do is create resistance. Oh, you never spend time with me. It's a difference when you speak negatively as opposed to positively. So, healthy communication is saying what you need to say in a positive way. So, like I said, instead of saying, oh, you never do this, you know what? I like it when we do this. That's a more positive spin on it. Also, when you lead in a positive direction when it comes to communication, it shows confidence while staying in your feminine flow. And granted, not everyone would be able to handle that, and that is okay. At least you know who can handle just your energy of being in your feminine space and your feminine power and who can't. Those who want you to dim your light and your joy and who you are is not for you. This is the whole reason you walk in your feminine energy, so you can easily see who's trying to dim you, who's trying to keep you from shining or just being you. Another way of being in your feminine power is set boundaries with elegance. That's the best way to put it. Set boundaries with elegance. Because when it comes down to your feminine power, it doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. It means that you know your standards and you're owning those standards and you uphold those standards. One example of being elegant in your boundaries is, I love spending time with you, but I don't chase inconsistent energy. That's a good one because a lot of times these people want to be chased so bad, but it shouldn't even be that. It should be a give and give. If you have to chase someone, stop. Stop. Letting someone know what you need in a relationship is perfectly fine. One example of that when it comes to your boundaries is letting someone know, I need emotional consistency to feel safe in a relationship. And if they don't understand what that means, then you have a conversation about that so that it's clear. And if they can't give that to you, they need to say that that's not something that they're able to provide. And now you know which way to move. And so one thing about it is that when you hold boundaries with ease, you command respect effortlessly. There's no struggle. Because a person can tell when you are not firm on the boundaries that you set. You know why? Because they test them. And you let them through when they test them instead of denying them when they test them. We're not playing games. This is not games. We're not doing that. You want to play games, there's plenty of people who are willing to play with you. Now, in the comments, please let me know what part of your feminine energy, feminine power are you struggling with? Let me know down in the comments. Ask any questions that you need answers to. I'm here for that. What I want you to understand is that your feminine energy is your superpower in love. And the right person will be drawn to your warmth, to your self-confidence, to your self-trust. If you feel like there is someone out there for you, there is. But before they can truly find you, you also have to work on yourself. And in hopes that they are also doing the same on their end. So when you do come together, it's a connection that you know is made from true work and self-respect and people being honest with themselves. You want to be in a relationship with someone who's also done the work just like you're doing the work. Because it's not enough for you to do it all on your own. What we're looking for are two whole people coming together. And when you walk in your feminine power, you know what that looks like. I'll see you on the next video.